it's the Agents of Sigmar.
In this video, we are having a quick look at the newly revealed Warband, teased Warband, it wasn't really newly revealed, the Exiled Dead.
Ooh, yes, the Exiled Dead. So we've seen one model so far.
Yeah.
Coil, and he's a zombie thing, so animated dead with one giant big arm.
A big arm that's been grafted on with
He's only
sort of big weird stitches almost.
Yeah, like metal poles sticking out.
Very
and some kind
Frankenstein
of cable.
monster, very Frankenstein's monster.
It is very much so, and I do like the aesthetic they've done with it because it combines some of the zombie aesthetic they had from the Cursed City models they made, but it's different enough. With
I think it's very steampunk.
It is quite a bit steampunk.
It's almost like Undead met the Carradon Overlords almost. It's kind of got that steampunk feel to it, and especially with the description, which I know some people have kind of moaned about, but it's called Dynamic Force or something. They're imbued with Dynamic Force.
The word force does make it feel a bit lazy.
The Force Dynamic is called.
Yeah, the Force Dynamic.
But that feels really, that's the sort of thing that steampunk writers do. They just put two words and put them around the other way to which they should go, and it sounds steampunky. So I kind of like it. I'm not disappointed by it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea that it's a completely different way we've seen the undead before in GW in general. I mean, whether you're talking more of a fantasy battle or AOS, we haven't really seen this kind of steampunky undead sort of
it's like a whole new
thing.
way of having undead in the Warhammer universe
without it being vampires or.
I really like the idea that some unseen force or new forces maybe subverting Nagash's hold on the undead. It's almost like they're animated in a completely different way. I really like that
because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it when people try and steal his dead or the souls, because he's a bit like an only child, isn't Nagash? He's very spoiled like that. He doesn't like to share.
Doesn't like to share his bones.
No, exactly. So I do like the fact that this might mean that we see a hero who isn't just a big undead bad guy or a necromancer.
I mean, I think he probably will be. I think the most likely thing is
It'll be a techno necromancer.
Yeah, technomancer. I think a necromancer is probably the most likely thing. One left field thing I thought of, having read through the Soulbound, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound rulebook, they have a couple of character classes for the dwarves, so the runesmiths in there, and I wondered, and they can be, I can't remember what they're called, but they basically can craft stuff as well.
Okay.
And it'll be really interesting.
Like engineers,
almost. Yeah, engineers, and they can use the kind of, it is like a techno magic, and I would quite like if something like that was doing it. So completely left field, like a little dwarf mechanical necromancer,
alchemist type thing.
I don't think it will be.
No, it'd be nice. Just something different.
Just completely out of left field. I think it'll probably be a human necromancer type.
I'm hoping it's not a necromancer because the way they've incorporated like this mechanical steampunky.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be a necromancer, but I think he'll basically be a human with a big hat who deals with undead body parts, which is effectively a necromancer.
Yeah,
a necromancer by another name.
Yeah. But even then, if it can be a different look and feel to the model, not just your classic old, skinny, decrepit, nearly dead human male.
We're going to see some nuts and bolts and some electricity type things in the models.
Yeah, some Tesla coils.
I do like exactly. I do like the model that they've done. I'm not entirely struck on Coil as the name, but I do feel like it's going to give you opportunities when we're playing to reference The Walking Dead.
Yes. Yep. So I'm quite happy about that.
So I suppose we probably could have some wild guesses about what the Warband might be like.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to follow the standard undead pattern of like 7 dead things, or lots of cheaper chafe and then one harder person?
I think it will be. I don't know. It might not go to 7.
No,
but it could be. I reckon it could be the wizardy leader and 4 or 5 undead minions.
Yeah. So maybe looking a little bit like Grashrak's Despoilers-esque kind of levels, with maybe one harder hitter, the leader, and then some sort of more chafe-like models.
I'd like to see like a undead beast thing, so maybe like 2 or 3 thralls, and then like a beastie thing, because they've used quite a lot of beasts in Harrowdeep, and I'd quite like to see like a stitched together
some kind of
undead dog or something,
or some kind of much more stitched together golem kind of flesh golem-y type thing, or something like a real almost Frankenstein's monster-esque kind of looking.
So give them a bit more combat, or almost like the
Starblood Stalkers.
Yeah, so you've got maybe 2 or 3 minion-y things. They're probably not move as quick as those, but then you've got a Clacktrock type heavier hitter.
Yeah.
Maybe hits things with a bone or something. I don't expect we'll see any flying creatures though.
Probably not from these ones.
Electro birds, electro undead birds.
I think that'd be just a bit too many different things mashed into one. I do wonder if we're going to see, because Coil obviously has the one big arm, which he uses for all this lifting. So I'm wondering if we're going to see some kind of one-off special attack type thing where he uses like an electrical charge to like power punch somebody or something.
I quite like the idea of a warband when one of them's got one big left arm, one of them's got one right arm. They're sort of a similar leg. They just run around in circles. I don't think we're going to see range attacks.
No,
unless
I don't.
The wizard guy has got some sort of electro bolt attack.
Yeah, maybe. But that might be like a range 2, like a shock whip kind of thing or something.
I don't actually expect him to be a wizard, even though he's kind of. He's going to be resurrecting the undead. I don't think he's going to be a wizard.
I mean, that's another question. Is are we going to see any kind of resurrection mechanic? I'm not sure if we will, because
I don't think so. No.
The Thorns didn't get it.
No.
The Spokal Guard got it. The Skaven had it for different reasons, and then the Ghouls got it, and that was kind of like it. I think in this case, because it feels like they're constructed undead. Once they're down, they're going to need rebuilding.
I did think of a couple of different things the way they could tackle it though. I thought instead of inspiring, maybe they're all like the blue horror. So when they get killed, you just flip the card over. So don't inspire. They possibly even get slightly worse, like the horror does.
Yeah.
But they basically you have to kill them each twice to allow for the fact that they're undead.
That would be horrible.
And they just keep going. You know what I mean? You've hacked a limb off, but it's still coming after you.
Yeah.
But I quite like that idea. But they wouldn't have an inspire condition. I guess the wizard probably would. And I thought maybe he inspired when a couple of his fighters were
taken out or something.
Well, either taken out or flipped over, so that they're getting worse. And he has to sort of try harder to keep them alive.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I did notice that in the Harrowdeep box there are some raise tokens. So I wondered, and I actually think they'll do this. They've done this sort of thing. I wondered whether maybe if you lost a character, you put a raise token on the hex in which they were killed, and then if the Necromancer stands either in it or adjacent to it, probably in it, then he can do a raise action and basically quickly stitch together,
stick an arm on a head.
Yeah, exactly, and get it going, and you can bring one back that way, and maybe in an adjacent hex or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll be either of those, but I'm quite taken with my idea of not inspiring and just flipping the card. It kind of adds to that, because the thing with zombies and ghouls is that they keep coming and you do hack bits off of them and they just keep going, and that will kind of symbolise that without it being a resurrect mechanic, which I don't think we're going to see. Cards, I kind of used all my best ideas up already. I haven't had very many thoughts about cards. I find it really hard.
I mean, cards. I always find when I'm sitting there thinking, what kind of cards could they have? I'm just stuck in the world of where they're at now, and I try and think of equivalents to that. And then GW come out with absolutely left field things like I never even contemplate that as a thing. Outside of the box,
I find it really difficult to think of that stuff. The only thing I could thought of, I thought there might be some. They might, because it talks about them entering the shadow realm and they're kind of shadowy. I wonder whether there might be some gloom hex
shenanigans of some kind. Maybe they can, if they can teleport between gloom hexes or something like that.
If they're in gloom hexes, they get objective for being in so many gloom hexes. That kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly.
And I wonder whether there might be some things, which they have used quite a lot. So I'm not sure about this. But where if you've got a couple of zombies adjacent, you take somebody out, then you. Get an objective or something. Objective. Search objective for takes
that sort of swarm attacking process. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of that. Although the sneaky gits, I can't remember what they were called now. Manox boys. Anyway, once you got in the main box of Harrowdeep, they had a few mechanics around assisting the cunning crew. That's the one.
Yeah.
They have some mechanics around supporting and assisting and stuff like that. But maybe we'll see something similar here.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to tell really. I mean, I'd like to think that there might be something around the electrical, this force, this electrical sort of force that's controlling them, and maybe there'll be cards which enable you to either build up like shock tokens and then expend them in like some kind of big electrical blast or something like that.
Maybe you can imbue them with extra electricity, so they're even harder, but then they drop dead or something.
Yeah, they
take damage at the end
or something like that. Yeah, maybe they
I wonder
move faster or
whether
something.
they might be on the search for body parts, so you have objectives around that, so that if they kill somebody effectively, I can't remember, basically they've chopped a limb off and they're going to take it back to their master, that kind of thing. And then maybe they might even have a little push mechanic. So if they kill something out, you can then move them one back towards the leader as they drag whatever body part.
I like that. Yeah. I like that as well. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many options they could do this. It's almost depressing to think of what they're just not going to do now.
You're not going to do any of this.
Yeah, none of this is going to happen, and we're just going to be there's so many wasted options. But you know, I am looking forward. I think the main thing for me is I love the look of the model and the potential it has for that kind of steampunky electro undead different angle to.
Yeah, I thought you'd like it because it was undead.
Yeah, I would
definitely. But I do like you just said, I like the fact that it's a bit different.
Yeah.
And I like, that's just generally speaking, I like for Underworlds how they kind of use it to test new things. And you tend to see like, new things in Underworlds first. Like, I mean, we've never seen any more Kanothi hunters.
No,
really.
no. We've never seen. We've never seen a pirate ogre. I don't think.
No.
There was like a ninja ogre back in Warhammer Fantasy Battle days, but there's been no pirate ogres or anything like that. A joga. I don't know, an ogre. No, they're just called ogres. Yeah, I like the fact that you get to see these different blends of ideas.
So I'm quite looking forward to seeing it. I know we don't play as much Underworlds as we used to, but I do like where they're taking it. I'm interested to see what models else comes with it. I'm intrigued to see what happens next. But I do like these guys. They look interesting.
Yep.
I don't know what you guys think. Let us know. Put in the comments below whether you're excited by them, whether you're not excited by them.
Yep.
And then hopefully when they come out, we'll be able to play them and see how they play on the tabletop.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these guys play and what the rest of the models are going to be like.
Yeah.
I mean, we've still got, it's only just gone March now, so we're not going to see anything for at least a month.
Yeah, I can't
possibly
remember. I can't remember. I should have
5.
looked at the what they call it.
Well, these don't come out till quarter two at some point.
Well,
so
not that far from away. Quarter 2.
April, but last time. Yeah, it's hard to tell. So maybe we're going to get them in a month's time. Maybe it's not going to be for another 2-3 months because we have got another core box coming as well, and they're going to have to start teasing some of that before they dump that one too. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think. When are we going to see these guys? What else do you think they could be bringing to the table with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you soon when we're going to play some Underworlds in the not too distant future.
Yep.
And we'll see you then.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and just let us know what you'd like to see in the future on the channel.
Absolutely.
See you soon.